and my gallbladder explodes and I die. This is a lie, but it's fine because, you know, I'm not dying, I'm just in pain. Welcome to today's video where we'll be going through a story time today about my health, about my surgery. I'm going to talk you through my whole journey all the way to the surgery because it was a long ride. And before I get started, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Come on, hit the notification bell. If you're watching this video, you definitely want to watch more. So subscribe to the channel, give this video a like, and let's just go into it. Yes, I live in the UK. So for you, the Americans, it's free healthcare.
It's free real estate.
August 2018, I had just moved from Southampton to Cambridge. Big new town, beautiful new town. I was applying for jobs. Everything was going fine until one night I woke up in the middle of the night with so much pain. I woke up with tears. I was crying because I had this pain like in my back. It was hurting so much. I woke up my boyfriend. I woke him up, he saw me crying. I was like, what is going on? I called 111. So for those of you who don't know, 111 is when you call when there's like something wrong with you, but it's not like urgent, like you didn't break a fucking leg. You just something wrong with you and you're not sure if you should have an ambulance or not, or you just need some medical advice or things like that. So I called 111 and I explained my symptoms to the lady. I told her, you know, my stomach was really hot, like something was really hot inside me. My back was hurting, it was warm. I couldn't sit down or get up. I had this weird position that I had to be in bed in order for it not to hurt more. I couldn't lay down properly either. That was too much pain. So I explained everything to her and she said, this will go down in a few hours. There's not really much we can do about it. We're not going to send an ambulance. You can go to the hospital if you feel like, but by the time you're going to be seen by someone, probably the pain has gone away. So I would suggest next day go to the GP. I was in pain for 2 to 3 hours and I realized so the pain was so much, I was trying to fall asleep but I couldn't. The pain was too much. So I realized only when I started feeling a little bit hungry that my pain started to like go down and I was able to then fall asleep. When I fell asleep, I still had a little bit of pain, but not too much pain, like not crazy pain. Next morning, my boyfriend goes to work and I want to go to the GP. I feel fine. I feel normal next morning. There's nothing wrong. So definitely whatever it was the night before, like it wasn't happening now. At the time we were just in this share house and just for a little time while we moved to Cambridge, and this GP was literally a 3-minute walk from the house at the time. And I go to the GP and I told her what the lady said the night before when I called 111, and the lady of the GP said, but have you signed up with us? And I was like, no, like I just moved from Southampton to Cambridge. And they said they couldn't book an appointment with me until I signed up with them. So they gave me all this paperwork for me to do. I had to go back home and do the paperwork. Then I go back and give them the paperwork for me to sign with the GP. But the lady said that they have to process the paperwork. It would take about 2 weeks, 2 whole weeks, for me to be able to then book, not to have an appointment, but to book an appointment with the GP. But then something else happened. As I said, we just moved from Southampton to Cambridge and we stayed in this share house while we were looking for something better, and we were supposed to stay there like maybe 6 months. We had to move from that share house somewhere else like quickly. So because I knew I was moving in October, and I told the GP that the address that I was moving to was like far away, they said, we won't cover you, so now you can't book appointments with us. That means I had to enroll to another GP in order to be seen by someone. But then I had to wait 2 more weeks. So this was a mess. Luckily, I didn't have too much pain because I found out that if I ate, like this is, because I had this pain a few more nights, if I ate spicy food and then go to bed straight away. So let's say I have dinner at 10 and then I go to bed at 11, I would wake up in pain in the middle of the night with the same pain as the first night. So what I started to do is having dinner like earlier and then wait till I was hungry to fall asleep, because I quickly realized if I was hungry, I wouldn't get the pain. So get to November, so October, we put deposit down on a house. We went on that, we were gonna move in November. So November we move and I go straight to a new GP and get it sorted for me to be with them. Bear in mind, I have a sister that at the time she was studying to become a doctor. I'm saying at the time because within those 2 years, she's a doctor. She said, you should go to a pharmacy and ask for omeprazole. If the omeprazole works, that means you have a stomach problem. If it doesn't work, you have a gallbladder problem. She's studying in Spain. She told me to go and buy the omeprazole because in Spain, you can buy omeprazole on the counter without like a prescription. So she thought I could do that in the UK, but I went to the counter at the pharmacy and they told me I could only have omeprazole and prescription, and that means I had to book an appointment with the GP, which I couldn't book, then with the doctor that specializes in this digestive area, right? And only he can give me a prescription for omeprazole. So not the GP doctor, has to be a specialist doctor to give me omeprazole. So all these weeks I didn't have omeprazole. So bear this in mind because this information is very, very important. We moved to the new house. I go to the new GP. They book an appointment for me. So I had this appointment only like Jan. At this time, not eating spicy food was not enough. And not eating like too late in the night was not enough. I was getting that pain more and more often, to the point that I wouldn't wake up my boyfriend in the middle of the night anymore. I would just deal with the pain, wait 2 to 3 hours to then fall back to sleep again. January, I have my appointment and the doctor like touches my belly. He asked me all these questions. He asked me like a lot of questions about my diet and what do I think makes me sick and yada yada yada. So, and then he says, you could have gallbladder stones. So we're gonna book an appointment for you to check the stones on your gallbladder, to check your gallbladder. Let's see if you have any stones in there. The appointment was only in April 2019. So first symptoms in August 2018, we're in April 2019 now. At this point, the pain was so much that I would have it sometimes in the middle of the day. I would have it after lunch. And this was really messing with my job performance now. April comes, me with so much pain, me tired of this bullshit because it's just too much. Go to the appointment. I go there, there's this wonderful, nice lady doing like, it's like an echography or something like that. And they check, like they see like your gallbladder. It's like you're pregnant, but for your gallbladder. And she checks and she's like, oh, you have a lot of stones on your gallbladder. And I was like, Fine, we found the problem. Now they have to send the results of the test to the GP, and then the GP would book an appointment for me to have at the local hospital to speak with the specialist about the gallbladder, because she said there's no medication that eases the pain with gallbladder stones. Great news. I was like, great news, thanks. And there's nothing you can do to dissolve the stones either, so you probably have to have a surgery to remove your gallbladder. And at this point I was like, just cut me open right now, like just get the pain away from me. They finally booked the appointment. This appointment was summer 2019. He heard all my story and he said, I do have gallstones, but some of my symptoms that I started having later were not indicative of gallbladder pain, but more of stomach pain. Before, I just wake up in the middle of the night or after lunch, I would have the pain in my back. Now, I would feel like this whole thing would burn. We're getting more and more symptoms. This whole thing would burn all the time. And he said that suggests that it's acid in my stomach that is causing that. And that has nothing to do with the gallbladder. He says that has nothing to do with the gallbladder. So, okay. Well, he says we're gonna do a trial. We wanna see if your pain is just the gallbladder or if it's just the stomach or if it's both. So what he decided to do is prescribe me omeprazole. Remember what I told you my sister said? Omeprazole, for me to try it, for me to take it twice a day for 14 days, and then once a day for the remaining of the 2 months that I was going to test this. And then our next appointment will be in September, and I will tell him how I felt after taking the omeprazole. Because he said, I really think this is your stomach, because the acid, that's not normal. That's not normal when you have gallbladder stones. That's completely different things. You do have the stones, but he said most people that have gallstones, they don't know they have gallstones because you don't feel any pain. And he said maybe they thought the symptoms were from the gallbladder, but actually it was from the stomach. They just found out I had stones, but nothing to do with each other. Okay, so that was it. And I was like, finally we're getting into something, right? He said he's gonna write a thing for me to come back in a couple of days to the hospital to get the prescription. So I go in, I say my prescription, they say it takes about half an hour. We have like about half an hour to an hour wait. I wait a whole hour for my prescription. I'm queuing, there's other people. All I'm seeing is that everyone in front of me, most of them, they go and get their prescription and then they say, this is wrong. This is not the prescription. I'm just like, I hope they don't get mine wrong because mine is not that hard. I go to the counter and they said, yeah, got your prescription ready. There you go. They gave me 28 pills. And I said, but that's not enough. And he said, no, the doctor said it's twice a day for 2 days. And I was like, twice a day for 2 days, it's 4, right? You giving me 28. He said, no, yeah, but I can give you more, but yeah, it's twice a day for 2 days. That's what I have here. And I was like, no, it's twice a day for 2 weeks, and then the remaining of 2 months is once a day. He said no. What his orders was twice a day for 2 days. That's why he was giving me 28. And I was like, there's no point of having an argument with this man because he clearly can't use his head. That what he said, if the doctor did say twice a day for 2 days, would have been 4 pills, not 28. So how do you tell me that twice a day for 2 days is 28? At this point, I was tired of this. I was tired. And I was like, fine, I'll take the 28. Got back home, I called the doctor's secretary and she said, it says here twice a day for 2 weeks, once a day for the remaining of the 2 months. She said, you have to come back to get the rest of the prescription. At this point, I'm tired. I go at 8 o'clock in the morning. That's when they open. I go at 8 o'clock in the morning. I was ticket number 001. There was only one person in front of me. I still waited an hour for my prescription. You take an hour to count pills? Like, are you serious? Don't you do maths? Oh my god. It was like, as you can tell, I was very frustrated. All these 2 years, I was very, very frustrated. Bear in mind, I also forgot to say, this first doctor appointment not only talked about the pills, but he also said, because my stomach was getting too acidic, I have to cut some foods and drinks that would make my stomach acidic. So for example, spicy food, which I had noticed, spicy food should be cut from my diet, or, you know, reduced to a minimum, because that could cause the acid in my stomach and that will get reflux. Things like oranges or like too much tomato sauce, like it can be very harsh on your stomach. That was not my problem. My problem was when he said I could not have chocolate. Yeah, you heard it right. He said I cannot have chocolate. Do you know what this means? Do you know what this means? I thought I'm gonna die, but that wasn't the worst. He said I cannot have alcohol at all, not a single drop. And the worst one, until this day, 0, it's coffee. I cannot have coffee. I think you understand. Not only I've waited a year to see a specialist, and he basically just told me that my life just ended. Going back to the omeprazole. I started taking the omeprazole and most of my pain was gone. The acid was gone, but sometimes I would still have a little bit pain in my back, but I wouldn't wake up crying at night. So that was really good. So when I went back to see the doctor, he said, I don't need to take my gallbladder off because I barely have any pain. And I told him, I still have pain. It's just not the acidic pain, but I still have the back pain. And he said, I should go and take some Gaviscon. That would help. And I was like, Gaviscon? What is he talking about? At this point, I'm telling everything to my sister because she's in her last year to become a doctor. And I told her, she's like, Gaviscon, that's just, no, don't take that. I went and took it. It made no difference. I was still getting pain. Like I said to the doctor, I wasn't getting the acidic pain, but I would still get pain. I was still not eating chocolate or anything. I was still, you know, doing everything else, just not taking the omeprazole. But I would get sick really easily. Car sick, I cycled to the hospital, got me sick. If I work out or move after eating, I would feel sick. And when I say move, is like a 5-minute walk, I would feel sick. I would feel sick. So when I went to this appointment, I told the doctor, I feel sick right now. I don't have the acidic pain, but I still have the other pain. So can't it be that I have both a stomach and a gallbladder problem? So he said he was gonna see like what to do and the next things to go, blah, 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 fine. And then a couple of weeks later, I get a letter from the NHS. It was a letter from the doctor saying, I don't need to take my gallbladder out because I was not in pain anymore. Omeprazole worked. I don't feel in pain anymore. So I can have prescription for more omeprazole, but I don't need to take off my gallbladder because I have no pain. This is a lie. Like, this is a lie, because I told him at the appointment I was sick on that day. I was sick, and I told him, I explained, if I do workouts, if I do anything, I would get sick. At this point, I'm very frustrated. This is like October time and I get this letter and I don't know what to do. I'm losing faith. So I had 2 weeks off in December to go visit my family in Portugal for Christmas. And I told my mom and she said, don't worry, we're gonna book some appointments here. We're gonna try to find out here what's wrong. I had an appointment on a Monday when I got there with our family doctor, so with our GP. The doctor said, you need to take some blood tests. We're gonna see these stones again. We're gonna find out what it is. Wednesday, I was already doing the blood tests in the morning, and then I also did the same thing to see like the size of the stones and blah blah blah. The person that was doing the thing to check this if I had stones, he said 100% you need to take your gallbladder out. You have so many stones that, and they're big enough that if one of them tries to escape, like comes out of the gallbladder, you're gonna have an infection and you're gonna need an emergency surgery, and that is bad. Or it could just close the gallbladder, be like at the entrance of the gallbladder, so nothing can come out of the gallbladder, so the liquid that's supposed to come out of the gallbladder doesn't come out, and my gallbladder explodes and I die. Then on Friday I go and see this doctor, and he said that I definitely need to take off my gallbladder. And I told him like, what about my acidic thing? And I told him like about the omeprazole and all that. And he said, yeah, but it could be that your stomach is more acidic because your gallbladder is not working well because of all the stones. So what I advise you to do is you're gonna have a surgery to take off the gallbladder, you're gonna take it out, and then we're gonna see if the stomach problems disappear. So when I went back to the UK, beginning of Jan, I called the GP again and I said, I need another appointment, I'm in pain. They put me through another doctor, and I told her everything. I said the doctor lied. She booked the appointment at beginning of March 2020. I went and I saw a different specialist. So she didn't book me with the same doctor that I've seen twice. She booked me with a different specialist. And the specialist, I sat down with him and I told him I have pain. And I told him like the doctor lied. I went to Portugal, they told me this, they told me that. I want to have the surgery. So he said, fine, you're gonna have the surgery. And I thought, oh my God, this is amazing. I'm gonna have the surgery. My pain is gonna stop. It's been almost a year that I can't have chocolate or coffee or alcohol. I was pleased. I was very pleased. He said, you're gonna receive a letter, and you call the number in the letter and you book your appointment. You're probably gonna wait like 2 months. Like, I'm fine, because I've been waiting for almost 2 years. Remember when I said it was March 2020? Corona, yeah? I got the letter, I called the number straight away. And they said, we cannot book your appointment because of the coronavirus. All minor surgeries have been cancelled, have been postponed until further notice. You're not gonna have your appointment anytime soon. I was so sad. I was like, when I finally got approval to have the surgery, yeah, it was hard, but it's fine because, you know, I'm not dying, I'm just in pain. With the coronavirus, this all, you know, got postponed to the point that I finally, in August, I got letters saying they were gonna book my appointment, and then they called me at the end of August saying they could book my appointment for September. I was so happy. I was honestly so happy. So I knew I was gonna take my gallbladder out. I knew I was gonna finally have the surgery. I was so happy. I was still feeling pain. If you follow me, if you watch my other videos, you know I had to stop doing the workout that I was doing because I was feeling sick. It's because of all this. I had so many symptoms. I had so many problems because of this. It's just insane that I finally, it took me over 2 years, remember, because the symptoms started in August 2018. August 2018. So I got my appointment and I had my surgery. As you see now, I've already had my surgery. I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna make a part 2 for this video because if you think this is bad, wait till you hear my story about me giving blood. And wait till you hear my stories of my surgery. I'm fine now. I haven't tried chocolate. I have tried chocolate, I was fine. I haven't tried coffee or alcohol. I'm making sure I'm fine with every kind of food and whatnot, but soon enough I'll try that. But yeah, this is my story. Comment down below your story about your gallbladder issues. If you have these symptoms, if you're scared for the surgery, don't be. It's a nice, easy surgery. But I'll make a part 2 that I'll put out soon. So subscribe if you want to watch part 2, because I think part 2 is hilarious. At this point, it's hilarious because it wasn't hilarious at the time, but it's just hilarious. So in part 2, I'll go through my corona test, my blood sample test. Like they took my blood, they did a blood test on me. I'll go through my surgery. I'll tell you everything about the surgery, and I'm gonna share with you my scars and my development. I'm gonna show you, you know, after surgery, like how do you get better? How many days off do you need? All these things I'll be showing you next part. So make sure you follow. I hope you enjoy this story time. I hope I wasn't too boring. Don't feel sad for me. Don't feel sorry, because now I'm good. I finally don't have my gallbladder, so I'm good. But I was pretty bad for a long time. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Follow for part 2. Let me know if you have any questions or any comments down in the comment section. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.